It is 5:30 Wednesday, August 29th,
hmm
2018, and I'm here with a young man named Jackson who's going into his sophomore year at college
hmm
and who is a successful um, patient of a maxillary mandibular advancement surgery at the age of 14.
Yes. Around that age, yeah. Sophomore year.
So, as best you can remember, Jackson, when
hmm
when do you remember sleep being an issue in your life?
It's definitely my sophomore year of high school.
Right.
That's really when I started suffering from just like being exhausted. I remember math class being the worst, just because like I would worst just because I would fall asleep.
Was it after lunch?
It was the last period of the day.
Was last period?
Yeah, it was just very foggy, not really like aware of what was going on, and just was not great. Wasn't a great experience.
And how were your grades before you
Oh,
had this kind of surgery?
horrible. I'm not horrible, but they weren't they weren't very good, and it wasn't because
Was
I
it
wasn't trying.
yeah, that's the question. Were you trying?
Yeah,
Were you so-called lazy?
no, nothing like that. I just couldn't seem to get it.
It wasn't coming easy.
Yeah, it wasn't like clicking.
And was there anything earlier that you were diagnosed with younger in life?
Um, Nothing when I was younger, but around that same time, I started. Well, my younger brother got diagnosed with ADHD,
Hmm.
and so I also started thinking like, I wonder if also this focus is coming from like, do I have ADHD?
Hmm.
I'm not necessarily hyper. Do I have ADD?
Right.
So we also started trying medication
Hmm.
for that.
At what age do you remember you started that?
Sophomore year. So
Sophomore year.
yeah,
So
14,
most of your big
14,
issues
13.
was your sophomore year.
Yeah, that's when everything started kind of
So
unraveling.
so it all unraveled at that age. But thinking back when you were
hmm
younger, you remember having a lot of extra teeth. And when did you start coming to Dr. Quo?
I started seeing orthodontist Dr. Guo,
Uh,
um, fourth grade or fifth grade. So it was like 6 or 7, I think.
so you had crowding, Dr. Quo said, at about 8 or 9 years old, and
Yes.
you weren't the first of your siblings that showed signs of or being
Mm,
diagnosed of apnea.
no. And that didn't really start happening until I was in high school, and they were all starting to go through middle school.
And you didn't start taking a med until high school?
Until high school, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Otherwise, I was fine.
currently, are you on any meds?
Currently, no, but I might go back on when school starts.
What makes you think that you want to go back on what's
Just a generic Adderall.
uh,
Just if I feel like I'm not being able to focus in class, because I haven't been in a classroom setting at all during the summer,
right?
and that's what I'm most scared for or feared for. It's not like anything else. It's just like whether or not I can focus in class.
Right. So last year you were at school.
Yeah, last year was fine. Everything went smoothly.
Right.
No complications with it at all.
And then what made you decide that you wanted to try to wean
Um,
yourself off of it?
Mainly weight gain.
Like,
It's because when I'm taking it, I don't really feel a need to eat any meals in the middle of the day. So I didn't gain any weight really, and I was kind of I'm not exactly like I'm not super skinny, but I'm not like a healthy weight range at all for my height. So I was just gonna try and see if I can gain some weight over the summer by eating more.
so tell me, at almost 20 years old, how tall you are?
6'4".
6'4".
Yeah.
And your mom confirmed to me earlier off camera that
hmm
when you had your MMA surgery
hmm
at what, 14 or 15 years old,
Yeah, 15.
that
Sounds right.
you actually had another growth spurt after that.
Yeah, and it's hopefully slowing down soon.
So you don't
Yeah.
want to be too tall. You don't want
No,
to be that
six
guy.
four is all right. Yeah. It's rough right now.
It's a good height. All right.
Yeah. Finding pants the right size. I'm super skinny, so it's like the length will fit, but then the width will be too wide.
There's bigger issues in life to worry about.
That's true. That's true.
There'll be a lot of more hard things.
Yeah.
Um, so you tried CPAP
I did.
prior to having any MMA surgery.
hmm
For how long did you try it for?
I think I was using CPAP. So I did a sleep study and was first diagnosed with sleep apnea. And then I used CPAP for an extended period of time. I think probably starting my sophomore year, middle of my sophomore year. And then, so I used CPAP for a period of time before they told me and they brought forth the idea of the jaw surgery.
What?
And
Before we get
yeah,
to the idea of the jaw surgery,
it
what was your experience like on CPAP?
was a lot better. I felt like I was actually getting a good quality of sleep and I was able to perform better in school, like academically. I definitely felt that change.
What about on the athletic field?
I think athletics actually probably peaked sophomore year. just because I was running track.
Hmm.
That's when I really felt like I noticed it, or that could have been just because I was like faster than the rest of them.
Right.
But I definitely felt like sophomore year of track was my best year. After that,
While on CPAP,
well, yeah, while on CPAP, yeah,
but you were still struggling with some ADD or
yeah,
at the
but
same time, but on the athletic field, that's where you got your yayas out, right?
yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
that's my mother used to send me. She
yeah,
said, "Oh, you didn't go to school on Monday. You go to soccer practice
yeah,
because you're a pain in the butt if I can't if you're not running a few miles every day."
yeah. Sports was always good.
That was your outlet.
Yeah, it wasn't like you didn't have to focus on anything in particular. You're just doing something physical. You kind of throw yourself all into it.
Hmm.
It was good for me.
So you felt good on CPAP, but
Yeah,
what was going around in your head at 14 years old? Like, I'm gonna have to use this machine the rest of my life.
basically, yeah. I feel like that's what goes through most people's head. Like it definitely goes through my siblings' heads, like my sister, my brother. But yeah, at that point though, I was still like kind of I don't know. I I was young and like pretty fairly young, so I was still in that phase where I didn't want to like have to take stuff with me. Like when I go to college, I didn't want to have to use a CPAP machine because it felt like it's not cool, all that sort of thing.
You're starting to date.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't have to deal with that.
yeah.
Did they ever discuss potentially before even getting to the surgery point, just using an oral appliance, or
No,
was that even an option
I
for you?
don't think so. That was never. I don't remember that being brought up at all.
Okay.
But yeah.
So
Um,
can you tell us a little bit about your surgery and what it was like to go through it? And
Yeah, so my it was like my sophomore year, the idea of the surgery was brought forth, and I was like, I guess I'm gonna go with this instead of having to wear the machine throughout college. I have to bother my roommate in college and deal with the hassle. So that's when I first started getting like prepared for it.
Mhm.
So braces were put on specifically designed to like move my mouth
Mhm.
around. So after the surgery, it would be in an okay position. And then the summer of my junior year is when this actual operation took place. Do you want me to like go into detail
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that? It was fairly easy, in my opinion. I just laid there and stayed unconscious. But coming out, it was definitely like I always think surgery is cool because it's like kind of time traveled a little bit. You wake up, you're in a different place. It's like, oh, this is cool. It wasn't the worst recovery I've ever had. I think the worst part was not being able to eat solid food. I remember there were a couple afternoons where I would just lie on the couch, my face swollen, like you're in like you have an ice pack necklace headband around you,
Mhm.
just like puffed up and like watching Food Network
And you can't
and
eat.
food, yeah, and you can't eat, you can't. You just look at the food, and it's like wow, that'd be really good right now.
So it's funny. It reminded me when I was about 14, I had strabismus surgery on my
Hmm.
eyes. This pre-apnea diagnosis
Hmm.
20 years before. But I spent a summer because I had surgery on my eyes
Hmm.
in a black room because I'm so
Oh.
sensitive to light,
Hmm.
but listening to movies,
Hmm.
but I couldn't see them.
Yeah,
So
it's weird. It's
it's a
weird how.
weird age to have that
Hmm.
experience, huh? So
Yeah.
did your friends visit you while you were in
Yeah.
recovery?
Yeah.
And
It was like the standard, like, all right, you can laugh at me. I look like a mess.
you look like Rocky, right?
Yeah, it's understandable.
Who
Take
did
your
who did
pictures.
they compare you to? What was the character?
It was usually a chipmunk.
A chipmunk,
Usually a chipmunk, or like a squirrel.
right?
Yeah, someone with fat, bloated cheeks. We put all the acorns in. That was the general consensus. Yeah, it's all right. Got through it.
You got through it.
Didn't lost a couple friends. It's all
Well,
right.
you find out who your real friends are.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's an important lesson to learn
Yeah.
at a young age.
Yeah.
So you haven't had a follow-up sleep study,
I have not.
so we don't know if you still have any what they call residual apnea.
I'm pretty sure I will. I still have sleep apnea in the future. I think was it 50s or 60s, maybe earlier. I'll have to go back onto the machine, just because I guess that's how it works.
Me as a layman, I can tell you'll be on there a lot earlier than that.
All right.
'Cause I don't know about
That's
the upper
okay.
part, but I'm looking at your chin.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think getting through the college part is definitely worth it. Just
Quality of life is
yeah,
major. I mean,
especially
if
like
you could go off your meds and focus and still perform and get good grades in school
hmm
and whatever your other extracurricular activities are, that's amazing.
yeah, absolutely. And it's like I feel like it's like college is kind of like where you want to be in your prime. You want to be doing as best you can physically.
So the reason I asked you if you
Mhm.
had a growth spurt, even though you're already tall to begin with
Mhm.
after your surgery, was that when you get good quality sleep, we know that your growth hormones produce in the first third of your sleep.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
see with a lot of children that have what they call failure to thrive or not growing really
Mhm.
tall. That's a telltale clue to us that
Yeah.
we need to look at the sleep protocol.
Mhm.
So one of the things we're looking to advocate for is even before any child's ever put on Ritalin or Adderall,
Mhm.
that the doctor needs to do the sleep workup,
I think that's
have the whole picture.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Especially with the over like saturation of like ADHD prescriptions and medication just being used.
How many of your friends in your high school class are on meds of some sort?
I'm honestly not sure. In
How many do
high
you
school,
think?
how many do you think? At least I want to say a quarter.
At least a quarter?
At least a quarter.
And are they trading their stuff amongst each other?
Probably some of them. I know a couple individuals that are.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Which isn't great. Yeah.
I'm not looking to get
Yeah,
in trouble.
I know.
I want to know what's going on in the world,
Mhm.
so we understand this.
Yeah.
We're looking at when before you had your surgery, how long were you sleeping? How many hours?
That's tough. I'm not sure how many hours I was actually like getting good quality sleep.
Could you get out of bed in the morning?
It was always rough. Always, I remember early on, it was always like, it wasn't just the, I don't want to get out of bed like it is now.
Right.
It was like if I closed my eyes again, I would just go right back to sleep. It was that bad.
So one of the red flags as we learn is when people, especially with teenagers, teenagers need to sleep. They need,
Yeah.
sleeping 12, 13 hours is
Yeah.
one thing, but if they're not good 13 hours of sleep,
Mm-hmm.
when you could
Mhm.
really have done it in probably 10.
Mm-hmm.
So now do you have a sleep schedule? Or are you pretty consistent?
Over
Or
the summer, I was really good
Right.
because I was working, had to be up at like 7 or so. So
what did you do for your summer job?
I was a camp counselor.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Locally?
Yeah, Stanford.
Nice.
So basically went to bed at like 11, 10:30, wake up at 7, and it was actually really good for me. I was still tired normally, but I was just like a normal tired. Like after the morning passed, I would still be good to go. It was a good kind of exhaustion.
Do you look at the food you eat as far as you're still young and you can eat anything, it doesn't matter?
It goes back and forth. It depends on what my parents buy. Sometimes we go through phases of just junk food.
So what are you eating at college? You eat pizza all day?
College is, I will say, better because depending on what I'm eating. At first semester, we had to feed ourselves, so there was basically no green material that we bought. It was a lot of chicken and pasta. But now that I'm on like I guess the meal plan, there's a lot more variety, and I'm actually like picking like green stuff. Like I'll get vegetables, I'll get like chicken and like some.
I'm not here to judge you.
Yeah.
Just say
Yeah, I know. I don't actively seek out like the junk food and the desserts and stuff. But yeah.
I don't know if you had the late nights out with the friends.
Yeah. That's always a factor as
We
well.
don't need mommy to know.
She's aware of it.
Yeah. She's not even listening.
No, it's okay.
So as far as your temperament, your irritability,
Oh, it's completely different.
completely
I feel
different
like, yeah.
post-surgery, even with young little siblings that
Yeah.
get on your nerves.
Yeah. That one's hard. That one's really hard.
Well, the young siblings get on everybody's nerves,
But
but your fuse was a lot shorter.
Even before like the whole sleep apnea thing, I was always very irritable. My first younger brother, who's only 17,
Mhm.
he would always provoke me like consistently, and I would always react badly, get in trouble. But as after the surgery and as I grew older, I sort of just kind of brushed it off.
Right.
Yeah, and I didn't really think about that too much. I thought it was just like a maturity thing.
Right. Well, that's
Mhm.
normal. That's what they tell you. You're a teenager. You're hormonally
Yeah.
going through puberty. You know, blah blah blah. Your little brother, your little
Mhm.
sister's getting in your way.
hmm
But truth be told, is now that you know what it's like to feel good when you wake
Yeah.
up, you realize that you had maybe potentially a negative outlook.
hmm
So we're looking at a lot of these kids that are presenting as negative or with big black bags under their eyes,
Yeah.
or that are on the electronics all night.
Yeah.
Not necessarily have sleep apnea,
hmm
but they're not respecting their sleep.
No, we're just
Which as in college that you can go out all night.
Even in college, I'm still like trying to, I guess like I make myself go to bed by 12 at the latest. I don't during the weekday. Weekends just whatever goes, whatever
You're
goes.
20 years old. You're
Yeah.
allowed to play, but
Yeah.
it's having that